It's World AIDS Day, and you are listening to another episode of Center of the Sun podcast. Thank you for listening. Today we're talking about raising your frequency. You have to. It's 2020. Well, it's not 2020 yet. I don't know why I said that. Sorry. 2020 is coming. Donald Trump hopefully will be impeached within the hour. And I actually wanted to, before I got into Donald Trump, because today we're talking about happiness and seeking happiness and all the good things about being a human. But for some reason, every time Dwyane Wade takes a family photo, all of the bitches on Twitter and wherever the hell they come from, they have a conniption, and for some reason, I'm appalled. First of all, I'm appalled. Why am I even talking about Dwyane Wade in the first place? Like, this is stupid. Like, what the hell am I doing? But anyway, Dwyane Wade, he's been in my umwelt lately because the internet would like to sacrifice his child. Well, it seems like they want to, because every time they take a family photo with him being a little too effeminate or whatever it is, they go berserk, especially on Twitter. I'm just like, oh my God, I can't. And so I undoubtedly, I have to look, I have to engage. And so Dwyane Wade's fans can't stop yelling at him and Gabrielle Union for whatever reason. I don't know why. Because these people refuse to burn their son at the stake for bending gender and gender expression and gender identity. The fake nails, the crop top. Sinful, I guess. I don't know. But yay for Dwyane Wade and Gabrielle Union. Yay for these Californian liberal parents. I'm talking like I'm a conservative. I don't know why. I'm talking about liberals like they're a third person, like I'm not one. But yay for them, yay for, these children who might not grow up to be heroin addicts, destined to be traumatized. But grown adults, I'm excited to see them who didn't have, to do so much walking in the snow, miles in the snow to school, because apparently that's what you're supposed to do as a boy. You cannot experiment with who God made you to be. But you know what? It's fine. Apparently, you're supposed to get punched in the face. That's what you're supposed to happen as a boy. You're supposed to fight. You're supposed to be afraid of things. You're supposed to, be an asshole. That's how I was raised, and it didn't turn out so well for me. But you know what? The Pussycat Dolls, though, the Pussycat Dolls, Nicole Scherzinger, she was on Twitter as well. Everybody loves her, but for some reason, I'm just like, I don't know why I don't like it. I don't like the Pussycat Dolls. I don't like her. I didn't like them when they came out, I guess 20 years ago, but that's fine. Their performance was prefaced. Their recent performance that was put on social media, it was prefaced with all of this drama from like a former member. Like, I think her name is Melody or something, but she is like a singer or something. And but because Nicole is the apparent heir and star of the throne of Pussycat, and the star of the most produced pop group in history, the most produced pop group as a facade in history, because she's the leader, she gets to call all the shots. So therefore this woman left the group, and then now they're rebranding the Pussycat Dolls, and they just released another video the other day on social media, and it's pretty bad compared to the people that already exist right now. Like the people that have come out after the Pussycat Dolls, she needs to go practice again. But I mean, I guess whiteness is protecting her, because if she was Summer Walker, anyway, basically the Pussycat Dolls are, their band has survived better than the vintage siding on my apartment building. That's good. I mean, I almost burnt that bitch anyway. It's holding up. They're holding up. They're holding up pretty good. But Nicole's boom cacks, I cannot. I just literally cannot. And everything has been unfolding very nicely over the past week. It's just been random shit. Not really much to talk about. Just the world as it should be. The world should not be crazy every day. It should be like once a year, like, hurricane, tsunami. But everything is unfolding over the last week pretty well, except for Donald Trump. I mean, if you're Donald Trump's dumbass, then you just need to go back to Jesus. Go back to the source of your issues, and you may find Donald Trump. But Donald Trump's impeachment, melting pot fiasco, whatever you want to call it. I'm pretty smart. I'm a pretty smart guy. Well, I think I'm a pretty smart guy. Most days I'm pretty smart. And I've been I watched the entire hearings because I was like, I have a show, I have to do due diligence with my audience. I need to make sure that I have all of the information, not part of it, and not the part that a pundit offered. I want to give my opinion, so I watch everything. I pay attention, and I'm pretty smart. I like to think I'm pretty smart, but I watched all the hearings and I still don't understand why Donald Trump is still in this bitch. Like, what the fuck, bro? What the fuck? I don't understand. I just don't get it. And it's fine. But if we gotta follow all of these rules, like stop on red, or the pedestrian has the right of way, or you have to pay your rent on time, therefore the sheriff comes to your apartment and evicts you at gunpoint. If we gotta follow the rules, so do you. Who do you think you are? How dare you? Like, how dare you? But he ain't doing nothing but collecting donations and playing golf anyway, so it's probably fine. In the grand scheme of things, we're probably going to be okay. But he's actively supporting like these dictators and these Russians and these North Koreans and these Chinese people, like Hong Kong. Like, girl, like, what are you doing? He promptly contradicted himself anyway. It's just like you support the communists, but then you promptly contradict yourself because both houses of Congress passed legislation damning the human rights violations that China's committing at this present moment on various fronts. They're committing genocide and doing all kind of stuff while they're doing shit to their own people. I don't know. It's weird. It's just so weird. But, both houses of Congress recently passed legislation damning their China's human rights violations. And all I can say is that Donald Trump is just an opportunist. He's not evil. He's not dumb. He's not smart. He's not anything. He's just an opportunist. He sees an opportunity and he takes it. And he's just like an annoying ass mosquito. A fucking mosquito. That's what you are. A buzz bitch. Or like a bunch of birds flocking together. Birds of a feather. You see a feather and you flock. And what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do when Donald Trump comes for you? Well, today we're gonna talk about raising your frequency, and not just because I'm telling you to do it. I want you to understand, from my perspective, why you should. And the first thing I want to point you to is a new study that I read. It's by a researcher named Roger D. Nelson, and he submitted an article to the Journal of Parapsychology. And this is a very, widely accepted journal. And he made a very good point in his observation. The article is called Mind Matters, New Scientific Era 1 and 2. And if you want to see the link or see the source, you can visit my blog, dvaughan.org, dvaughan.org. And he brought up a very good point about all of this investigation around the mind and like, why does it fucking matter? And one thing that humans are forgetting is that our capacity to do all of this thinking is due to the fact that we have a mind. So realizing that fact and then continuing to ignore the value of our mind is our block, and is the reason why we can't really understand a lot of things. There's so many rituals and music and collaborations and cooperations between humans and all kinds of things that have kind of overshadowed the fact that we up with it because of our mind. And that is why you should do your best. That's why today's episode is about preferences and about finding the thing that you want to do, finding the things that you like, because when you do that, you get in touch with your soul and your purpose. So check this article out. It is very scientific, so you have to kind of take your time with it, but it nails down very significant research that proves that what you think affects the group, and the group affects what you think. And so by understanding those things, you can have more control over new technologies, like how we interact with machines, how the mind interacts with machines, how a mind can interact with a prosthetic because of the way that it interacts in the environment. Your mind interacts with the environment. So if there's a machine in the environment that receives your signal from your brain, anyway, let me know what you think, because human consciousness is not just like a special thing. It is the thing. It is the catalyst for everything we think about. And every time you go to the museum or go to a restaurant or anything, you're proving that the mind is superior, that there's something valuable about the mind, in that instead of trying to figure out what is going on in the world, it might be more beneficial to you to figure out what's going on in your mind and why it's reacting the way that it reacts, because it is a machine to an extent. You have control over it. It's like your soul has control, your spirit or whatever has control over it, your esoteric energy body, your bodies, the different things. But basically they figured all this out because of brain scans, MMIs and whatever. I don't even know what it's called, but it's relevant to your development as a human being, and your intentions matter. What you put your attention to and what you intend to do matters. So you should probably figure out what you want to do so that like all of your intentions are like pure. So why should you raise your frequency? Well, I first want to start by thank you for listening. Thank you very much for being a supporter of Center of the Sun. It is the belated Thanksgiving. So if you would like to become a member of my blog, dvaughan.org, it is DVAUGHN. It's my name. Don't wear it out. .org. You can become a sustaining member by giving a donation, a monthly gift, an ongoing gift, or you can just be a free member, and your presence is greatly appreciated. We don't need money, but because it is the U.S. economy, it's always necessary for sustainability. So if you would like to become a sustaining member, it'd be greatly appreciated to help me fund the various expenses that come with building a podcast, hosting and websites and all those things that are very normal of an expense to take care of. But as a sustaining member, you can ensure that Center of the Sun and my blog and all of my endeavors persist well into the future. And I appreciate your support. Thank you so much. And it goes into your raising your frequency, putting your attention and your valuables into places that you care about. And when you do that, your reality becomes a little bit more clear. It becomes a little bit more transparent. You want to find the things that make you happy, because when you do that, you have more control over your environment. You have more control over your reality. And then it becomes more obvious that you create your own reality. That is the whole purpose of consciousness and awakening. You're reimagining yourself as a spiritual being. And when you do that, you start realizing that you have more control over how you build your reality, and you become more and more consciously aware of how things work and how fear is used against you and how your emotions are used against you in media. But when you become conscious of how the world works, you can then guide yourself through reality by making choices that represent a path that you prefer. Wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't it be great to like not have to pay bills and like not have to like worry about your baby's mother and your baby's father and like all of the stupid things that we have to worry about? What if you chose a path that you preferred? And hopefully that would include your baby, a baby and a mother and a father and whatever else. But you shouldn't feel forced. You should be able to seek experiences that make your preferences true. So if you want to be a singer, you should be able to do all the things that make you a singer. That's why you have to figure out what you like. That's why you have to figure out what you prefer. A choice is ritualistic. Even if you make the wrong choice, a choice was made nonetheless, and you still learn that you didn't like something. That's why people say like we live in a hologram, because it's like a game. It's like a weird ass thing. I saw Saturn. I saw it. I know that we live in a hologram because every physicist says that when you look at, so say if you're looking at a piece of paper, a 2D piece of paper, it just looks flat. Like when you draw something on a piece of paper that's 2D, it looks flat. There's no depth, there's no width, there's no nothing. It's just like a thing on a piece of paper, because we're 3D and that thing is 2D. But when I look at Saturn looks 2D to me. Therefore, it most likely is in some other, oh my God, it's just crazy stuff like that. It's like you don't realize what's going on, and it's in your best interest to pay attention. And there is science that backs all of this up. That's why Center of the Sun exists, because I need to know the source of all of these hypotheses and all of the different conclusions that people have made. So what do you think? Do you believe me? Am I stupid? Have you ever encountered a ghost? Have you ever felt the chill come up your spine? All of that is necessary to understand what I'm talking about today. And today's episode is very short. Thank you so much for listening. Give me your feedback. What do you think? Am I right? Am I on the right track? Did you read this article? Did you visit my blog, dvaughan.org, dvaughan.org? Well, if you don't know anything and you just want to talk or whatever, send me your feedback, host at centersun21.com. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great day.